no. Oh my days, just oh my days, like what? I knew it, I knew it.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing my update and my little talky thing I do about the Pretty Little Liars thing, and it's like, okay, I'm too excited. Basically yesterday I watched season 4 episode 12, which is the finale of season 4 Pretty Little Liars. Oh my days. Okay, let's go. Before I even get started, this is going to be like the biggest spoiler alert ever, because I have no filter. I can't even hold back on this. So let's just talk about the finale and then we're going to backtrack, and I've got some notes on my phone as well. Number one, I knew it. I said this way back in season 1. I said, do you know who A is? It's Ezra. And do you know why I said that? Because I knew about the little clues about the little typewriter in his room. He's too intelligent. I did say in my last video it had to be an older person. And I knew, I didn't record this before I watched the finale. I wish I did, because then you would have known that I knew. But I basically knew that it was a he and not a she, because there have been too many times where they've seen text and then been like, oh, what, A was watching us, and then Mona would be like, oh, she was here. All the girls have been saying she, and I was like, do you know what, it's not a she, it's a he. And I was right. I knew it, and do you know why I knew it? Because Ezra has the crazy eyes. He's always had the crazy eyes, Okay, let me just compose myself. So yesterday was the season finale, and we found out at the very end that A was in fact a he, and that he was Ezra, and I knew this, and I'm so excited. I can't believe how good this is getting. Oh my days. Okay, breathe. I've got some notes that I wrote down before whilst I was watching like episode 1 to 11. Episode 12 was the actual finale. So I'm going to talk about my notes and theories beforehand, and then I'm going to add some new little revelations that have come to light, and then I'm going to finish off with the whole finale thing. I honestly thought that Toby was in on it. He still may be in on it. The only thing that might ruin this whole thing is that if they turn around and say, even though we know now that Ezra is A, well done, scriptwriters, you did a great job. But even though we know now that Ezra is A, I just hope and pray that they don't turn it around and do what they did with Toby and say, I was only doing it to protect you, or trying to get it in, like you find out who's trying to hurt you. Like, as long as they don't do that and then Ezra starts crying the way Toby's been crying, as long as they don't just like twist it around and make us get all excited to make us all like wonder again who it could be. Do you know, I knew it. I knew it. And then my other notes. Mona apparently speaks French and she's fluent in French, and there's been a lot of a French theme going on around. It hasn't really been in your face, but it's been a really subtle hint. There's one scene where she's talking to Hannah in front of the locker, and someone walks past her with their back facing the camera, and she just says something in French and like shoos them away, and then they just like disappear into a classroom, and then we find out she has like French lessons as well, and he kind of brought that back up again in the season finale. So after she left Radley, which we didn't know she was being released from, which is a crazy home in case you guys don't watch the show, or with patients with mental problems, basically she disappears, and she's supposed to actually be turning up to like a French club welcoming party thing for her, and she never shows up. And there's been a few things like tying in around the whole French theme where they've been like French posters or random things said in French, and I don't know what that's about particularly, but I know now a little bit because there's been clues all over the internet. Also, when it came down to Wilson's funeral, and they Spencer and apparently Mona got this text from A saying how there was something incriminating like evidence inside the casket. Wasn't it slightly strange how Spencer came in the room, the phone was ringing, and then Mona emerges from the curtains like backstage, like what the he's like what? You put the phone in there, Mona, or you're lying about getting the same text. Like it was weird. It was just strange. Okay. Also, I think the guy that took Jenna into Wilson's funeral is, I can't even remember now, but I think it's the same dude that was working with the whole pilot thing and that whole thing as well. I recognised him from that, and I think he's definitely going to have another role coming up soon. I loved his little part in it because they brought him into the storyline, and that little thing where like Caleb and, oh, by the way, I love seeing Caleb and Toby act together. They are a really cool team. They don't do enough like scenes together, which is a shame, but like they've been doing it recently and I've been really liking that. They just remind me of Batman and Robin. They just have this cool kind of like chemistry where they're just trying to defend their girls, and it just all is ridiculous. Basically, Hannah's mum, when she came back from her little trip from New York, she couldn't have looked more shifty if she tried. So now Hannah's mum is free from prison because they dropped the charges. I still find it kind of a bit strange how she was so... I know she saw Wilson the night he passed away, or he died. I keep saying passed away. He died. I know she saw Wilson the night he died, but... she was acting so shifty that I feel like she knows more than she's letting on. It was a bit too strange. Just when like Hannah asked her, oh, this is your phone, did you lose it? And then her first reaction was like, where did you get that? And then when Hannah found her like muddy shoes under the sink with a toothbrush, and she was like, they're just shoes, Hannah. Like, what the heck? Obviously, you know more than you're saying. Like, it was a bit strange. So I think a really significant point in the season is when Hannah asked Miss De Laurentiis what happened when the police found Ali's body underneath the thing. Let's just call it I think she said cabana, but let's just say it's the basement or under the house. And her mum said, all she saw was a yellow blouse, she didn't need to see anything. And she also said that it wasn't the police that found Ali, it was the workers. Workers could have been the A-team, they could have been anyone. So I feel like that was a really significant moment in the whole season, just because it was a bit like... that just basically proves that Alison could still be alive. No one really did actually what's that word where you go and identify the body? Identify the body. No one did that, so Alison could still be alive. And also, one more thing. Oh my days, she actually is still alive, because there was 2 girls. There was one that's... Okay, sorry, this might not make any sense to you. If you watched the last episode, there were 2 girls. One that Spencer followed and one that Aria followed and did her little taekwondo stuff on. And that was Cece. The other girl we don't know, but we thought was Alison. And it is Alison because she was looking through the keyhole and she took Spencer there because she wanted the girls to find Aaliyah, which belonged to Ezra, so they know who A is. Oh my days. I just worked it out. Okay, so Alison's still alive. So now I've rambled on about the season's happenings. Let's move on to the final finale episode, which we find out that A is indeed Ezra. Number 1, I knew that because he had the crazy eyes. I mentioned this from last year, season 1. I said Ezra is A. There's too many clues linking up to him. He's got the crazy eyes. A would have to be older. Definitely a he and not a she because there's too many references made to she. And also, now I'm thinking about it, after he found out about Malcolm, I believe, he packed up his bags, left Aria crying in the rain, and he went off to think about things, to gather his thoughts. And he was gone for a long ass time, and he didn't explain where he went. He just came back all calm and collected. He completely up and left Aria, didn't explain anything, left home slice crying in the rain. This was so bad. Like, it's so obvious that he actually went to Ravenswood to set up his lair now. It makes so much sense. 2, he has the crazy eyes. If you guys have watched that film with Kristen Stewart in it, I think it's called Adventureland. He's in it as well. I think this is when he was kind of getting started in the whole acting thing, and he's got the same crazy eyes, and I thought it was so funny every time he looked crazy because he would give people the stank eye from the corner. He would do it all the time, and I was like, that's the crazy look of a crazy person. And there's so many clues online as well that it could have been Ezra, and there's one that really stands out. So the plane spin the bottle in the last scene, and the bottle, which was a whiskey bottle, which we see Ezra buying and then giving to Byron. So that was another clue. And basically they have pictures of the 4 girls' faces, and the bottle lands on Aria's face, and A moves it like really sharply over to Spencer's face, as in like no one's messing around with Aria. So I think Ezra cares. His little schizo crazy side, which is A, doesn't care too much about anyone else. In the beginning of season 1, when she was talking about Alison, he gives her the kind of shifty look and says, was she a friend of yours? He was blatantly going out with Alison, and that's why he was so interested in Aria and her friends, and that's why he hung around, that's why he got a job. That's why he was acting like he had nothing to do with it when he was like, oh, I'm guessing A, B, C, and D know as well. It's like all coming together right now. I hope this is making sense. I know it might not be. Also, where on earth did Ezra's brother go? We need to think about that because now we know Ezra's crazy. He must have found out about him and Aria and wiped him off the map. That's probably where his brother's gone. Also, I think it's kind of interesting how he turned up on the train for one of the Halloween episodes. Even when he did that, it was so unsubtle that everyone was like, where did he come from? Like, he was on that train. He must have been, because he just turned up so quickly, and he said he only came when he found out Arya was hurt. Also, you have to kind of bear in mind that none of her, her family have been hurt by A or targeted, but kind of subtly, minus the Beehive episode with her mum. But basically, have you noticed how Arya's never really been hurt? And I also noticed as well, the first time I noticed he may have been a bit crazy was when I think Noel asked for a better grade when he found out he was going out with Arya, and he just gave him crazy eyes and kind of threatened him and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of knew all along, guys, and I'm really pleased because I'm actually right for once. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this quick ramble. I'm really looking forward to the Halloween episode, and I'm really looking forward to Ravenswood. Let's talk in the comments as always. If you guys watch Pretty Little Liars, I'm sure this made a little bit of sense to you. If you guys don't, then I probably just look insane and it made no sense at all. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little ramble, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.